and she would tell me, I'm praying for you, I'm praying for you. And I didn't think it was helping because I just kept on doing the same thing. Then one day, God answered her prayer. And it was truly amazing because my mom was on her sick bed. And my mom wanted to see me clean. My aunt wanted to see me clean. And it just, I went to jail. And this program, Mental Battle, is in Nashville. Mental Battle program. And I was just sitting in my cell and the guy came up and said, you want to get in this program to help you learn about God and straighten your life out. And so I said yes. And after that, I could see God working more and more and more in my life. I'm a 6-time felon. I have overcome that. I have got jobs with people that you wouldn't even think about would hire a felon. But I have money. I have a cash now. I also work for McKee Foods, which is not felon friendly. I worked at Volkswagen. God just opened a bunch of doors for me. And it's not hard, but God can do anything that you think He can't do. He can do it. I mean, He's truly amazing. He's truly helped me out. My wife also has a powerful testimony also. So we just talk and sit back and talk and, God has done this and God has done that. Can't explain how, but things that happen to us that I still can't explain, but I know it's coming from Him because it's all in me. And thank y'all.
I want to thank Agent Marshall for that awesome testimony. And I'm just grateful for what God is doing here at Shiloh. So many people in this ministry, God is turning their lives around through the power of prayer. And I'm just very grateful. And if I could sing, I would sing that song. If you could use anything, Lord, you can use me. Because these fellows that are here today are a testament to the fact that no matter what you've done in life, no matter where you've been, God can still use you. He can reach past the pain. He can reach past your problems. He can reach past the mistakes that you've made, and He can use you. So we are so grateful today to have these guys here and to hear these awesome testimonies. This is just a blessing. And I want to thank God for, again, for Rise Resiliency Leadership Firm and Fannie Mae Plumsey Foundation. Let's give them a hand. We are grateful for this awesome lunch. And at this time, we're going to ask all of our panel speakers to come forth and have a seat at this time as we prepare for our panel discussion. All right, as they are coming, I want to take this opportunity to introduce my friend to you. She's going to introduce herself, Juanita Tony, but I thank God for her. She has just been a blessing. She's been a blessing. And so I'm grateful for her today. She's going to talk to you all about the Fannie Mae Plumsey Foundation and what they do. I'm glad that my sweet wife is here. Amen. Minister Tori, won't you give her a hand? The reason it's so important, y'all, for the ladies to be here today is because a lot of times the ladies push us to take care of our physical health and our mental health and our emotional health. And my wife, she stays on me all the time. I'm a type 2 diabetic, and she stays on me, y'all. about taking my medication and checking my A1C and taking my, everything else that I need to. I know. But, it's just a blessing to have a help meet. Amen? Amen. It's a blessing to have a help meet. When I tell you that we have a power team in the house today, these guys represent what is to come, the future of mental health in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Georgia. This group right here represents the future. And these resources, just among the men that are in these seats, the resources that they have available, it can really transform our communities. It can transform our churches. But we have to take the initiative to learn about these things. And that's the whole reason why we're here today, to learn about the resources that are available that can change our communities. I say this all the time, that we have to become a church without walls. And when I say a church without walls, what I'm talking about is we get out of the traditional mode of just coming in here on Sundays and having church, but we become a healing place where people can come throughout the week. My prayer for Shiloh, I've said this before, my prayer for Shiloh is that we would not just come in here on Wednesdays and come in here on Sundays, but that Monday through Saturday, our doors are open to provide healing for people, counseling for people, therapy for people, financial resources to help people to learn how to invest money, how to become homeowners. Like, I really believe that our church can become that kind of church in this community. And so that's why we're hosting this event today. And thank you, Brother Charles, for your encouragement that maybe today is a seed that is the beginning of something great in our community. And so we're going to start our panel discussion at this time. Won't you give it up for Miss Juanita Tony?
Hello, everyone. I am a licensed counselor, mental health therapist. I've been licensed since 2008. But that's not where my passion comes from. My passion comes from my grandmother, how she raised me and she taught me how to give back and strengthen communities through compassion and through care, okay? And so I don't know if you all heard of the Chattanooga Five. In 1980, the Ku Klux Klan shot up 9th Street. Actually, we were at home when it happened. They came up and shot at us. My grandmother, she led, and she took it all the way. She was the lead plaintiff, and they actually won a suit against the KKK. And so that sets precedents to stop hatred. So she didn't go back to violence against violence. It was love and compassion. And so we want to continue that legacy. She set the foundation for equality on the legal and the community, and we want to do that on the mental health. So that's my passion, okay? And so what we do, we destigmatize mental health because that's the number one barrier. We have the resources, we have the access, but it's the stigma. So we aim for that. And so I kind of want to say this, and then we'll start counting. It's like this. Society has told men, right? You got to be brave, strong, and angry. The only 3 emotions. Now multiply that being born in the South by 100, being black by 1,000, and if you're in the military, by 10,000. And I come from a military family, right? And so really what that means is, if there's anger, it's really the confusion of the unknown. And you got to know that. And sometimes we as women, it's like, yeah, you come cry on my shoulder, but in public, no, wipe it up. Go get that robber, right? Or go get that, right? And so we don't allow that. And if it's the bravery is where they feel as if they're being intimidated, right? Or less than, right? So it's to look behind those and ask the questions, you know, how can I help? How can I be there for you? Okay? All right, so we're going to begin. Each one, please state your name clearly and you tell us a little bit about yourself, your organization, and what brought you here. And pass the mic down.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Troy Rogers, Chattanooga, Tennessee. I've been working with young men for 30 years. And I just love to be of help. That's my passion, to work with young men who are broken. That's me.
Good afternoon. My name is Donovan Brown, and I'm grateful for the introduction and for the invitation by Pastor Bruce to be here today. And I was a young boy who became a teenager who became a man who was broken and did not know how to get out of it. I didn't even have words to describe what I was going through. And without that even language, where can you actually go? And so I'm grateful for being someone who has been motivated by what I see in scriptures and in other societies that have best dealt with things like genocide. And so in my life, I'm trying to practice these best practices done in other countries. So I organize work at a historic black cemetery, 22 acres in Chattanooga. This is the work of repair. Additionally, I founded and directed what's called the Horton Keller Center for Traumatic Healing, which is part of Purpose Point Community Health. So the church, within that church, there's also a health center which provides free health services at no cost to folks 18 and up. And the work I do there is for our community, mental health, and traumatic healing.
Thank you also. My name is Gerard Dunn, and I'm an individual who has allowed my past to be my platform. I just love helping underdogs get their feedback on one another. I just love just something about it because I was once that individual that sat in that same seat looking for someone to help me prepare. But I also am the Region 3 South Lifeliner for the Hamilton County Coalition, where I help individuals with mental health and substance use disorder. I help individuals get into treatment regardless of cost. I also tell my story to combat the stigma of mental health and substance use. But I'm also the owner of the TAP program, which has 2 facilities where I help individuals that have been incarcerated, struggle with mental health and substance use, and also homeless, get a foundation where they can come and get an environment, get everything that they need so they can be not only key increase of profit, but also taxpayers and all by citizens.
Wow. What an honor and privilege it is to be here today. I'm overwhelmed. And they always told me coming up, you know, if you're in a room and you're the smartest person in the room, you need to get out of that room. So this right here for me is amazing. So my name is Charles Flanagan. People call me Flan. Years of military experience. I just retired out of the Air Force. I was a career police officer in the Air Force. So kudos to you, my man. Working with the civilian capacity under police departments and stuff like that. Did 30 years. A lot of people ask me why did I come to Chattanooga, Cleveland area. I can tell you why. God sent me here. I have no idea why I came here. Yeah, I can tell you it was the cost of living. I can tell you it was the taxes. I can list a number of things, but I listen to the man and the universe guides my steps. All that to say is I own a business. It's called Rise Resiliency. I do a lot of community outreach. I want to thank that gentleman that's sitting over there. He doesn't really realize the impact he had on my life. I came here, the first week I was here, I walked down in the streets of Cleveland, because that's what I do. I want to see how people react to me. But that gentleman to the right over there with the shirt, gray shirt on, Chuck Swafford, I walked into his cigar place, and that changed my life.
That's my cousin.
Yeah, I know. That changed my life. I hear all the Swaffords in here, so I know. And his dad's in here. I'm going to introduce myself a little bit later, but that guy changed my life. I'm on the Boys and Girls Club board. I'm a part of 100 Black Men, and I just want to be a better human for the people around me. Thank you.
Like you said, I'm just honored to be here. My name is Artez McLaughlin, and I am a husband, I'm a father, husband of one wife, 3 kids, and I get to serve young people through an organization called On Point. And we go into middle school and high schools to host small groups and mentor those young men. I also am a minister. I also get the opportunity to, I founded a coaching organization. Me and my wife, through our pain, we created purpose out of it. We created an ebook called 5 Keys to a Healthy Marriage, and it shares those 5 keys that trajectory our life and our relationship. But they were key points that changed our lives. They were opportunities that could have been pain, but we turned those opportunities into purpose. So those are things that I get to do, and I love serving people and just being served.
I just want to say thank you, Pastor Bruce, for inviting me. I'm very. This was a godsend to me on so many different levels. I am Lee Townsend. I am the Vice President of Neighbors United Counsel and Referral Services Ministry, and we are a program that's designed to use a theocentric and holistic approach towards counseling, case management, and life coaching. We're hoping that we can change some minds and some viewpoints in our community one at a time. And we're hoping to do that. I just want to tell you, I am so honored to be invited to be able to speak with this panel, and found out that the guest speaker was someone that I taught when I was 17 years old back in the day. And that just blew my mind. And his mom taught me in Knox College. So it's a small world, and God knows how to get it together in so many amazing ways. And if you just keep on trucking and keep on going, and just keep on going with the journey, it's unreal how things will just transpire and unfold themselves. I just want to tell you, give an honor to God, and thank you, Pastor, for inviting me. And I hope that we can serve you in our community. We're based out of Cleveland. Church of God gave us 2 office spaces when we started, and we're moving into Knoxville and Chattanooga in the next couple of months or years. I just want to tell you thank you again.
You can hold the mic because you have the honor of answering the first question. Okay? All right.
Hey, lucky me, right?
Yeah, lucky you. What makes it important for the church to get involved in helping parishioners to become emotionally and mentally stable?
The church has always been a sign of stability and consistency, which that needs to branch off into mental health. Yes. And give people the support. And like Pastor Bruce said, the church needs to go outside of the 4 walls that have kept all the praise and the wonderful things inside, and be a light, a beacon outside of the church, and give people the support and stability that they need to help themselves find a safe place, to heal, to get themselves together, to move forward, to thrive, to do things that is our destiny that God has given us.
Okay. Mr. Jonathan Brown. What is trauma, and how does it impact men's mental health and lives?
So many of us are aware of the fact that it was a few weeks ago where, like in our country right now, someone is pointing a gun at someone and pulling the trigger. This is a part of our pastime. It's like baseball. But in Washington State, a man was speaking to an audience and someone shot and killed him. And so people who witnessed this, there are folks who were in the room, they're live. There are people watching it live streaming. There are folks who saw it later on TV. Then there's the family members of the victim. And so in essence, there's a sense of threat we feel. Now, the thing is, we can all be in the same room, see the same Christ there, but if we go home, talk with friends and family about the pain, the shock, the sense of grief that we felt, and we allow our body to process those hormones and chemicals that help us survive, you'll be all right, right? But if you go home, go to sleep, turn on the TV, and just effectively just avoid that. Those same hormonal stress chemicals that help us respond to threats, it keeps running. It's like sitting, there's nothing wrong with the car sitting in the garage with the garage door closed. However, if you sit in the car in the garage door closed with the car running, it is going to kill you. And so essentially it's those chemicals, hormones in our bodies that are telling us there's a threat, keep going on. And if you don't process that, as Joe was talking about, it will effectively wear us down. We become hyperreactive. Sometimes we can't sleep. And with God's mentality, that's what you're saying. Like, you're right. The only time man can cry is when you win the Super Bowl. The only time you can cry is when you win the championship. This moment of glory. So we hold in all this pain, die at 50. And people, I probably got some gray hair because I was processing my pain. So I think for us, there's lies that have been told about us. And if the truth can set us free, what can lies actually do? They bound us to death. And we know that sickness is the father of lies. And so one of the lies about men is that we can't, that if admitting weakness essentially is some kind of shame. The idea that when the pain is shame, the only reason anybody can call themselves a Christian is that one person took on all our pain and all our shame. And if it's not definitionally what it means to be a man, then we'd be lost. So I would say that, and I'll close by saying I think trauma is also, it meets us in the hauntings, it meets us in the shadows, it meets us where there's light and we feel darkness. So I can keep going on, and I'm not going to try to turn it into Troy and say, can I go on to the final? My brother Troy here.
Yes. Well, the hormones that he's speaking of is called cortisol and adrenaline. Now, we want those hormones. If the Lion King come through here, you want it to paralyze your executive function, right? And you just want to go, right? But what tends to happen when trauma happens, that same response is given. And so we don't actually, if you're not up and you're not processing it and you're not moving it out your system, actually cortisol is known as the deadly hormone that's linked to heart disease, cardiovascular disease, which is linked to eczema, which is asthma, ADHD, okay, go on. But I'm just saying it's very important to process that. And it's a vicarious trauma, which is secondary trauma, that where you hear someone or see something and it still affects you the same way if it's happening to you. Okay, next. Gerard Dunn. He's a personal friend of mine, and he's helped with the foundation as well. Is it important for the faith community to get involved in substance use and mental health ministry?
Absolutely. Very absolutely. I think oftentimes the reason why we don't get involved in it is because we don't understand it. And what we don't understand, we tend to not engage. And so, if one of the greatest things that Jesus did when he was first getting ready to be released from ministry was he spoke a commission. And one of the commission was that he had been sent to bring freedom to those who have been captives. We're in a society right now that where we used to see a generation of children burying their parents, but now it's been reversed. And if anyone had the solution, if anyone had the ability to address it, I truly believe it was the church, because number one, God gave us the solution, and number two, we all are sinners saved by grace. So if we can't use our past experiences and what we've been through to help unlock something in somebody else, then what are we here for? I think that's our commission. I think that is our mission. You know, I look at myself and I look at where I'm at and what God has taken me, but everything that I've done in my life came from somebody seeing something in me other than where I was, and they unlocked something on the inside of me that propelled me forward. I believe that that's our commission. I believe that in this time right now, we have an epidemic in our society. That epidemic is drugs. I mean, for the black community, that's nothing new to us. You know, we come up with that. But I truly believe that those, now, I believe that we have a charge to educate ourselves. And not only speak about it, but engage it, attack it, hit it head on, so that we can start seeing some change. We have the remedy. We have the remedy. So it's time, I believe, for us to take what we have and go out and see some change.
Because from research, we do know unaddressed mental health leads to other emotional and behavior disorders. And that's where the substance use and the substance misuse becomes into play. Okay? Next, Mr. Charles Lanning.
Yeah, that's fine.
What impact did the military career have on your mental health, especially when reintegrating into civilian life?
Great question. And thank you, by the way, I appreciate it. And thank you for your service, because what you do day in and day out, it doesn't get noticed. So I wanted to stop and say thank you. So I'm gonna shorten this a little bit because, I just retired 2 years ago. I came in the military when I was 17 years old. My mom had to sign for me. So I want to backtrack a little bit because I want to tell you, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. And this is during the crack epidemic. A lot of things were going on. This was 1993. So the day before I went into the military, I was robbed at gunpoint. And so when we talk about trauma, I didn't know what trauma, that word with the T, I didn't know what that meant, right? So now I have to go through basic training. I got on a plane, never got on a plane, went to San Antonio, Texas, and now I'm at basic training, where a person is yelling at me, and he is cussing at me, and all I know is fight or flight, right? And so that cortisol we talk about, and it's in my brain, I don't know what's going on with my body. So fast forward, going through all these things in the military, like you can't do this, or you're not allowed to do this. So I'm getting orders shot at me, right? All that to say is I started failing hard. Like I failed my first training, failed. No one was there to support me. There by myself, looking around like, who's gonna help me? Right? So desperate. Turn to alcohol, because at 18 I can drink overseas. So now I'm compounding it, right? I'm putting it all in. Now I can go have sex with everyone. So I'm compounding it, right? And so all these things start to occur with this child that does not understand the world. Now I'm overseas. I'm in Italy. So just imagine, I'm in Italy, I'm in Turkey, I'm in England. So the first 10 years of my military career, I am going crazy. Having my way. No control. So I'm going to pull it back a little bit. There was one person, and this goes back to what my man said earlier. There was a mentor. And he pulled me aside. He said, hey, you're on a track to go down. And I'm pulling you in to tell you, hey, you stink. You're not smelling right. You're not doing things right. And I'm not talking about the deodorant, because that's a good metaphor, right? I'm talking about your attitude, how you come in a room, and how you present yourself. And you already know that as a young black male, they already have a tag on you. And when he said that, I completely, something came over me. So all that to say is that was a cloud moment for me. That was a light bulb moment for me. That was a you got shook moment for me. And so fast forward, I did 30 years. I was the highest enlisted rank in the Air Force. I was in charge of the largest contingent, battalion, whatever you want to call it, 1,300 military police officers. I was in charge of that. Just retired out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. And I can tell you all the Afghanistan, Iraq, I won't go into all that. But I suffered from PTSD right now. I don't suffer from it. It's a tag on me. I have depression because they tagged me, right? You're it. I may show some symptoms, but I went in Thursday. I went to the VA. I went and I did my appointment. I talked to my psychiatrist. But all that to say is, labels are, you gotta be careful with labels. We have to be careful with labels because those labels identify you if you accept it. So I started to realize how powerful words were. I really started to understand, when we talk about the shadows, really kind of understanding why the shadows are, where we sit in the world. Why do the news portray this and they don't portray that? I mean, I can go on and on. Why did I serve my country for so long? You know? And then I come back to this as a black man. So, yes, the military did a thing. They do a thing on you, right? And it's negative and it's positive. But what I can tell you is it's all about how you compartmentalize it. And I'm happy I've had good people around me as mentors. These brothers that I'm just meeting for the first time. But there's goodness in it as well. And so I want to be an example and not a statistic. And so I'm fighting hard through, you know, I got to go to my appointments. I have to, again, you look and see there's, I don't have a leg that's not, I have my legs, but they're inner scars, right, that we deal with. And as a military member, I'm glad that I get to speak on this because it's important, not only for the veteran in the community, but also for young people to see it's okay to not be okay sometimes. And then two, to your point, you said it really, really well, is that we have to be okay with not being okay. Be comfortable being uncomfortable in situations. So I love the discomfort that you brought in here because that supplies a safe space, right? And so that to say is, again, back to you, what you do is profound. And I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to be here with these gentlemen today. Thank you.
And one of the things I want to piggyback on is when individuals come to me, because I am housed in the 37406 area, and that's actually where I raised my children. So I know the stigma around it. I make my house the counseling center. So I tell individuals, the diagnosis is not a label. It is how you navigate life post events. Okay? So keep that, you know, you're not it just tells you how to navigate life.
Yeah, and I'll add one more thing because I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I go to mental health to get in that room to spew all the stuff that I've been dealing with, right? But I don't spew it on anybody else. The other piece of that, I think the most important key is I pray, I meditate, I do yoga. Yeah, this big 6'6" guy does yoga.
Yes.
And I do things that I can pour into myself that I can feel good about. Like I go play ball on Saturday. Like I'm missing basketball right now, but it's worth it, right? And two, there's brothers that surround me, and I have a network. So that's very, 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 very important. Thank you.
All right. Next person is Mr. Artez McLaughlin. Could unexamined and unidentified emotional issues be the reasons that men are mentally unavailable to their wives and children?
It's a good question. It is a loaded question. So many pieces of factors. I want to break down the understanding of manhood. I think that's where we need to truly get to. Society, y'all going to repeat after me this statement. Real men don't.
Right.
What don't hurt you makes you stronger. So some nuisance, that we have placed in society around these stigmas and lies is that emotion and manhood, they're opposite. Like being emotional makes you weak, and having emotional intelligence makes you weak. But actually, there's strength in having emotional intelligence. And understanding our manhood, we are human. We are men, and we should have all of the emotions. That's what makes us truly a great man. It's not just one side of the emotional anger and what we have been conditioned to believe what manhood truly is. How many girls, how many women you can sleep with, you know, how much money you got in your pockets, you know, what car you drive. All these stigmas and mindsets have been given to us, but we have to reshape that and rethink about that. Emotional intelligence, emotional, you know, IQ is a part of it. You can have a high IQ, but you also need to have a high EQ, emotional intelligence. So that's what I would say. Why men are not emotionally, because that's a skill set. That's something that we have to begin to get amongst older men. We have to get another side, another perspective, and have coaching, have counseling. You need to pray, but also go to counseling, and also, you know, begin to work on self. Self-awareness is so key right now, that you begin to see within yourself. What is it that who am I? Just simply ask that question. Who am I? You know, and then break it down. Why do I do what I do? And the question of why is so important. So I want to challenge everybody to think through that. Redefine what manhood is and ask those why questions. And then slowly take steps to open up as a man. Open up to your wife. It's slow, steady step. You know, we try to be you know, when we finally let it go, when we finally, you know, let these things out, but we can't throw it all. We can't be like a water hose, a hydrant situation, but we do want to, you know, start with a practice of, you know, today was a little harder. Just let it sit. Today was kind of rough. You know, maybe you share with your children, like in a moment. Yeah, Daddy had a rough day. It was hard. And just kind of, you know, take small emotional, you know, conversations around that with children, your marriage, your family, and our kids, so that we can be healthy.
Yes, and you know, thank you for that. Thank you so much for answering that question. Two questions I ask in counseling is, especially with men, and even within the people who come to me, do not believe in God, but I still use scripture. You know, I still use biblical. And one of the questions I ask is, who is the strongest man that ever walked the earth? And even the unbelievers would say, Jesus. I said, correct. I said, would you go up against him? I said, I would. You see what he did? You know who bagged him? And they said, no. I said, he cried. Not only did he cry, he wept. He snotted and blood came out of his eyes. He cried so hard. So if he give us that permission, how come we're not taking it? Right? Especially men. So he showed us how men are strong, and that's okay. Right? And the second is, I said, I fail to believe that when God made Eve from Adam, he took out all the emotions from men, right? Gave it to Eve, and just left strong, brave, and anger with the men. I refuse to believe that. Right? Okay, next, Troy. You ready?
I'm ready.
How has mass incarceration impacted the psyche and mental health well-being of minority men?
Man, I think it's a couple things, but I want to talk about a lot of times, and I tell my guys all the time, and I tell people that I talk to being an advocate for the criminal justice system is when a guy goes to prison, the only thing that stops is him. Your bills don't stop. Your kids getting older. The only thing that stops is you, but everything around you keeps going. And so there's been a stigma of, you know, when guys come home telling me, man, I'm a felon. I'm an ex this, I'm an ex that. And so I always talk about returning talent. You know, I don't say ex felon, I don't say that. I say, man, returning talent. You know what I'm saying? Because we got guys who are returning into the community. And so there's always a stigma on the back of being ex something because they serve their time. Also, I look at the fatherhood legacy. A lot of guys who come home, they got kids. You know, so I got a friend of mine now whose daughter was like, she was just being born. The girl was pregnant. He did 17, I think 21 years. So his daughter's 22 years old. He got grandkids. So even coming home, trying to navigate that situation can be tough. So that's a stigma. I mean, I don't know if she'll like me. I don't know if she will. I know I messed up. I know I'm the reason for a lot of things she's going through. So a lot of times guys can internalize those things without having conversation. Then we talk about trauma. A lot of times, man, you know, and my guys who work for me, they'll tell you, man, I had to do some stuff in that I'm not proud of. You know, I had to survive, so I had to mentally take myself to a spot so that I could sleep at night. You know, I had to carry a knife. I had to be on high alert. And I know sometimes, like if I'm with my guys and we're out of town or something like that, when we go to the bathroom, like they automatically like go out and on guard. I'm like, bro, you don't have to do that. Like we're okay, but that's what their mind and their trauma has told them because that's the way that has been. And then, you know, just the erosion of identity, what society sometimes can tell you. Because the problem with that, man, is that the guy can go in and do time, but he comes back and he has so many things against him. You know what I'm saying? You can pay your debt to society, but a lot of times it can be a life sentence if you don't have an advocate to help you. And let me unpack the gift of dissatisfaction. I didn't really get to unpack it. I told Minister Dunn right here, I got a whole speech on that. But the gift of dissatisfaction does three things for you. The first thing it does for you is it gives you clarity. The second thing the gift of dissatisfaction gives you, it gives you motivation. And the third thing that the gift of dissatisfaction gives you, it gives you innovation as well. Because you're going to always, when you're dissatisfied, you're always wanting to figure out what it is that you can do to help your community. For all you guys out there right now, I told him that God is waking up from 3 to 5 o'clock. You ain't got, then you go pee, but when you come back, God is trying to download something in you. If you up from 3 to 5, that means you right now, you are in the gift of dissatisfaction.
So true.
Okay, I did not realize that these guys were going to provide us with such valuable feedback, such meaningful feedback. But in the interest of time, we're going to do something different because I really want to try to get us out of here. So rather than everybody responding to questions 2 and 3, let's do it this way. Let's 3 of you give us a response to, she'll ask you a question for question number 2, and then 3 of you all give a response to question number 3, and we're going to go home. And I do apologize. I hope that maybe next year we can come back with a reunion for this event and bring all these same guys back together next year. But unfortunately, we do need to get out here. So I do apologize that we weren't able to ask you all the questions. But again, we can always come back next year. So thank you all.
Okay. How has systematic racism impacted the mental health and lives of minority men, and how can we address this issue?
When I was 5 years old, I was a kindergartner, and one day there were these kids who told my teacher, I had 2 teachers in North Carolina, they said that during an earlier recess period, when we were supposed to be studying, that I was on the playground, right? And I knew that this was not the case, and it was such an injustice to me. It was like, how dare you label me something, say I did something I didn't do. And I never thought about this, even to just now, but me and my brother just got a new shirt from JCPenney. And his was green and blue, and mine was red and blue. And come to think of it, those kids might have been red, green, colorblind. But I never thought about this just now, right? So maybe they thought they saw me, but it was really there's something on their eyes. So for me, this is a fundamental injustice. One thing that racism does, systemic racism does, is it denies our humanity. It says that either A, we are children of a lesser God, or we are children of no God at all. It denies the fact that we are image bearers. And this is a fundamental lie. Not only this, it amplifies this. A friend of mine would say one of the greatest marketing programs or schemes of all time is racism. If you poll somebody in Western Russia, in Southwest China, in Cambodia, and ask them about black people, and they'll give you the same 3 or 4 or 5 lies that began to come up in the 15th and 16th centuries. It's compounded over time. So I think that when it comes to healing this, I think one of our friends said therapy said collective trauma, collective grief requires collective processing. And one thing the church helps us do is it comes together to create rhythms and habits and practices, things that we do together. And one of the things when we talk about trauma is a thing that registers in your body. It's not just something you think, or not really something you feel. feel, but there's things that are happening on a neurochemical level. And in essence, and part of what we need to do is, and also traumatic energy can be caught up in our joints. So brother talked about what he do in terms of basketball, that can help with traumatic energy. So I would say, join with others, lament the pain of it, and also demand within ourselves to honor the reality that we are not the bearers of a lesser God in terms of the image. We are image bearers of the Almighty.
Let me ask you a question.
It was how has systematic racism impacted the mental health and lives of minority men, and how can we address this issue?
I remember when I first, 20 years old, and I stood before a judge. Mind you, I've never been in trouble a day in my life. Never had a misdemeanor, never had anything. Got caught in a situation where I found myself receiving the sentence of 145 months. I was 12 years for my first offense. Never been in trouble a day in my life. Playing basketball at the University of Purdue, playing, and the judge did something. He said, he smacked the guy and said, Mr. Dunn, you are a menace to society. I'm like, what? Menace to society? And so that mentally messed with me. So we see that so often in judicial system. You know what I'm saying? Individuals labeling men of color something other than what they are. How do we navigate that? We navigate that by what Troy called mentorship. I truly believe that, because if we don't understand who we truly are, then guess what? We're game for anything. That's why you have so many people involved in games, so many people involved in their identity change. Because we don't understand our identity. And I think that mentorship is really key. And mentorship is really key to helping me navigate that, because people begin to start pouring inside of me of who I really was based upon what they said about me. And ultimately, I got a revelation of who God said I was. God told us that we were made in the image and likeness of Him. You see what I'm saying? And once you understand that you're made in the image and likeness of God, then man, guess what? When you realize that, man, you do are correct. You are a king. So image, you know what I'm saying? Image and likeness. So that means, I truly believe that understanding identity and mentorship is how we do it.
In 2016, when I came to work for the mayor, I'll never forget, I said, Lord, I said, God, I'm in a political position. I said, Lord, help me. I said, God, I promise you that I will leverage everything I got for the lives of people. And I said, Lord, if I get too far out there, you're going to have to catch me. But I'm going to get in front of this thing. And so for me, I think we have to use our life. And Gerard just said it, man, mentorship. When I go to Katie's and I talk and I hang out with people, and when I'm downtown and I hear, I'll be downtown going to the bank and I see somebody blow, Mr. Rogers, hey man, I appreciate what you said. Hey man, I got out of Katie's, man. I went and I got custody of my kids, or I'm working 2 jobs, and thank you, man, for telling me that I was a super person and this, that, and the third. And so for me, we have to leverage that by letting our light shine and get busy. I thank God. He know my mama, man. We didn't have a lot of money, but what I did have was love. Instead for me, it's leveraging. If God put us in a seat, then we leverage that thing to the best of our ability. Now, what happens a lot of times is when you get a guy who's very passionate about, what he got going on, man, they cut his feet because of his platform. You know what I'm saying? Because they want you to, they give you a job, but you better not help nobody. And so Baldwin said that being black and conscious is to almost always be in a stage of rage. And so for me, I've just used my life. And guys, when you get 50, some of y'all are probably close, man, God gives you a different set of glasses. You don't want to play. You don't really care what nobody say. And you just kind of trust Him all the way. And so for me, the church, we are the church. You know what I'm saying? Church is cool on Sunday, but what are we doing Monday through Saturday night? And so we have to begin to open up our homes, like I said, the barbershop, my office, like I said, I use my office sometimes when my guys are going through something with their families, you know what I'm saying? I use my office as a place where we can talk. And I had to use my office for a place where I had to get on because I heard some stuff in the streets that didn't jive. And so I think we just use our lives as a platform to be able to equal, the playing field.
All right. You all ready? Y'all get question number 3. Is vulnerability a key factor in mental wellness? And what can you say to help men to begin the process of being vulnerable with his family if he perceives it as a sign of weakness?
Yes, and yes. So vulnerability is the key element. If you don't have vulnerability, you don't have anything. So to caveat that question, though, I want to make sure that you have to be the example as well. You can't shoot from the hip, and we can't be up here and act like we've been there because people feel that. That's energy, right? And so all that to say is you have to be representation of what you're actually speaking on. And it has to be to a level where there's nothing else behind that. There's no fakeness. And we talked about that in the back of the room. There can be no ulterior motive, none of that, right? It has to come from a really, I would say, even biblical place. And I want to go back to this question about, because I think it's important that our identity, we are kings and queens, just so we know. Our DNA is different than others. And we have to express that and not and be okay with saying stuff like that. Because there is distractions out here. They want you to be distracted. And they want you to identify with that identity, menace to society. I remember that movie. When he said it, that was a trigger for me. Right? So we got to be careful with labels, but we also got to shoot those labels down as the example.
I agree with what my brother has said. Most definitely vulnerability is a factor, it's a key, but it's going to take courage. Us as men, we have to, with courage there's a level of fear, but you don't, succumb to the fear. You press, through and have courage to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And there's strength in vulnerability. I want us to begin to reframe and rethink what manhood is truly about. From our young men, our boys, to men, older guys, manhood is about having all of the emotions. Vulnerability is a key. It is a strength. And there's strength in having sensitivity as well.
Vulnerability. When you look at vulnerability, you have to look at the point that when you're most vulnerable, the most time, and sometimes you will grow. Sometimes you will understand. Sometimes you will become more genuine in understanding yourself. A part of what we are looking at as brothers with mental health is that we have to look inside and re-examine ourselves. Now, the old saying is that look at yourself. Go through yourself and see what you would deal with before you look at someone else's eye and try to pull that plank out. Pull the boulder that's in your eye. Take it on out. Work with that situation where vulnerability not only enhances you, but what it does, it makes you understand what you are about and what you are becoming. And your purpose is the most important thing. Because we don't always reach our purpose, but we need to understand that the reason why we don't reach our purpose is because we're not striving to do so. And sometimes vulnerability will have us to backtrack to reach that purpose.
That's good.
I would like to thank you all, and I want to say, there where you boast in your weakness, he will be stronger. Okay? We're all mental health first responders, whether you know it or not. And so what we do is we put on these seminars to help empower others, everyday individuals, how to speak, how to talk, how to communicate in your lives, in your homes, in churches, so you can be that first mental health responder. Because we don't know what the next person is going through. But we really want to be there for them. So I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being on the panel. Some very great, insightful information. I hope I get a recording because I would really like y'all permission to use it at our events. Okay? But thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's give the panel another round. This has been a phenomenal day. We want to thank everybody for coming out today. And at this time, I want to give a special presentation to all of our speakers. We have something special for you. first card is from Mr. Donovan Brown. Let's give him a hand. Mr. Artez McLaughlin. Mr. Troy Rogers. Mr. Charles Flanagan. Mr. Lee Townsend. Yours is tomorrow. Minister Dunn is preaching tomorrow, so he'll get his tomorrow. And we also have one from Miss Juanita Tony. On the inside, fellas, you will find a ticket to our breast cancer awareness banquet. Okay? I want you to bring somebody with you, and you have to pay for their ticket. Yours is free, but you can cash at me or whatever you want to do for that other person's ticket. But it is a health event. Our church is going to be hosting our annual breast cancer gala on October the 11th at 5 o'clock. We're going to be honoring local people in the community that are breast cancer survivors. And the reason I wanted you all to have a ticket is because a lot of people don't know that men can get breast cancer too. And so we are on a mission here at Shiloh, our health and wellness ministry. We are on a mission to educate people about all types of health issues: breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer, lung cancer. We're on a mission to educate our community. And we want to be a church without walls. And so this is a community event that we're hosting on October the 11th. And we want you to be a part of it. We want you to tell people about it so that we can become aware of the importance of early detection, the importance of knowing your family history, the importance of knowing when you need to go to the doctor and how to do a self-breast exam. All of these things are very important. And there's literature on the back table that I want you all to take with you, take home with you. This is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. And so all month long, our church, we've been wearing blue. We've been honoring prostate cancer survivors. And next month, we'll do the same in October. So at this time, we have some door prizes as we get out of here and wrap this thing up. These door prizes have been provided on behalf of House of Hope Ministries. House of Hope is very similar to the program that Minister Dunn has, where we offer resources, we offer housing, we offer counseling to individuals in the community that have struggled with addiction. And so our door prizes today have come from House of Hope. If I call your number, just go